What's up guys, I'm ArieRashelle and this is Too Deep. A little while ago, we did a video explaining the war in Revelation chapter 12 and the time period in which the war began and took place, but there still seems to be a little bit of confusion on when Satan was thrown down. So let's just dive right into this. Revelation chapter 12 verse 1 through 6 says, "And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars. She was pregnant and was crying out in birth pains and the agony of giving birth. And another sign appeared in heaven, behold, a great red dragon, with 7 heads and 10 horns, and on his head 7 diadems. His tail swept down 1/3 of the stars of heaven and cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman who was about to give birth, so that when she bore her child, he might devour it. She gave birth to a male child, one who is to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. But her child was caught up to God and to his throne. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, in which she is to be nourished for 1260 days. As we explained in our previous video, Revelation chapter 12 War, Why Does Satan Attack, which is under our Too Deep category or playlist, the male child is not the church. It's Jesus. It's Jesus who will rule the nations with a rod of iron. Psalms 2 verses 7 through 9 and Revelation chapter 19 verses 11 through 21. And the woman is Mary, his mother. The dragon who attacks them is Satan, who used the fear of King Herod to send out a decree to kill all male babies 2 and under in and around Bethlehem. Matthew chapter 2. When Satan failed to kill baby Jesus through King Herod, he followed him into heaven and war began. Revelation chapter 12 verses 7 through 9 says, "Now war arose in heaven, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was defeated, and there was no longer any place for them in heaven. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to earth, and his angels were thrown down with him." So Satan, the great dragon, that ancient serpent, the devil, was thrown down. Alright, really quickly I want to point out to you that he is called the devil and Satan. Those aren't positions that other beings like Lilith can fill. Those are 2 of his names. Those aren't job descriptions. Satan's job description is a glorious one. 2 Peter chapter 2 verses 10 through 11 and Jude chapter 1 verses 8 through 9. Satan is his name. The devil is his name. So with that said, let's keep reading. Revelation chapter 12 verses 10 through 12. "And I heard a loud voice in heaven saying, Now the salvation and the power and the kingdom of our God and the authority of his Christ have come. For the accuser of our brothers has been thrown down, who accuses them day and night before our God. And they have conquered him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, for they loved not their lives, even unto death. Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. But woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil has come down to you in great wrath, because he knows that his time is short." Now someone said that Satan couldn't have been thrown down 2,000 years ago and would still have to be in heaven because it says woe to the earth and the sea. They claim that they didn't see a woe to the earth over the past 1990 years, but have seen the restrainer in action in the gospel preached to all nations. They went on to claim that nothing worse than before Jesus was born has taken place, and it's only become a little more civilized. Therefore, they believe Satan will be thrown down from heaven during the tribulation.
What did you just say to me?
And as we responded, how can you say there hasn't been a woe on the earth? 73 million babies are murdered in their mother's womb every single year, and that's just the ones that are documented. To say that you've seen the restrainer in action and the gospel preached to all nations is the biggest insult to every single person who has ever been brutally murdered for the gospel. Christians are being thrown in cages and burned alive in Syria. They were tied to poles, some impaled and covered in tar, then set on fire while alive under the reign of Nero as he rode through his garden at night. They were torn to shreds in the Colosseum of Rome by wild animals. They're murdered in African nations and South American nations, Asian nations, just for being believers. They were mercilessly tortured and killed in Russia under Stalin and his communism. To say you don't see a woe, but the gospel spreading throughout the world as if there has been no kind of tribulation at all around the world is an insult to all who gave their lives, especially in a very slow and painful way. Sweden has eradicated Down syndrome by murdering any and every unborn baby with the slightest possibility of having Down syndrome. We're murdering the undesirables by calling it euthanasia, saying that it's mercy. We have war after war after war, killing millions of people for pointless reasons. This is what happens when you live in a free country and don't look outside your own little bubble. The amount of hatred that Christians suffer throughout the entire world is enough to show that Satan is here with great wrath, going after the church as stated in Revelation chapter 12, verses 12 through 17. Satan isn't in heaven, he's on earth. Now let's prove it with scripture. Revelation chapter 12, verses 13 through 17. And when the dragon saw that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman who had given birth to the male child. But the woman was given the 2 wings of the great eagle, so that she might fly from the serpent into the wilderness, to the place where she is to be nourished for a time and times and half a time. The serpent poured water like a river out of his mouth after the woman to sweep her away with a flood. But the earth came to the help of the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed the river that the dragon had poured from its mouth. Then the dragon became furious with the woman and went off to make war on the rest of her offspring, on those who keep the commandments of God and hold to the testimony of Jesus. And he stood on the sand of the sea. Revelation states that he went after the woman. If the woman in these verses is Mary, the mother of Jesus, how will he go after her in the future? Let's look at more evidence. Luke chapter 10, verse 17 through 20. The 72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons are subject to us in your name. And he said to them, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Behold, I have given you authority to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall hurt you. Nevertheless, do not rejoice in this, that the spirits are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. Jesus himself said he saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Now, some could argue he was speaking prophetically. Okay, sure. Matthew chapter 4, verse 1 through 11. Then Jesus was led up by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came and said to him, If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. But he answered, It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, He will command His angels concerning you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Jesus said to him, Again it is written, You shall not put the Lord your God to the test. Again the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their glory. And he said to him, All these I will give you, if you will fall down and worship me. Then Jesus said to him, Begone, Satan, for it is written, You shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve. Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and were ministering to him. If Satan is still in heaven fighting a war with Michael the Archangel, how was he able to tempt Jesus 2,000 years ago? Let's look at one more set of verses. Revelation chapter 2 verse 12 through 17. And to the angel of the church in Pergamum write the words of him who has the sharp two-edged sword. I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, yet you hold fast my name, and you did not deny my faith, even in the days of Antipas, my faithful witness, who was killed among you, where Satan dwells. But I have a few things against you. You have some there who hold to the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to put a stumbling block before the sons of Israel, so that they might eat food sacrificed to idols and practice sexual immorality. So also you have some who hold the same teaching of the Nicolaitans. Therefore repent. If not, I will come to you soon and war against them with the sword of my mouth. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To the one who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone with a new name written on the stone that no one knows except the one who receives it. This is Jesus speaking to actual people who actually lived in Pergamum at that time. He was describing their current struggle. What was their struggle? They lived where Satan lived, where his throne was. Now, while you guys ponder all of these things, let's sum everything up real quick. 2,000 years ago, baby Jesus was caught up to heaven when Satan tried to use King Herod to kill him. Satan then followed pursuit and war arose in heaven. Not long after the war arose was Satan and his angels defeated and thrown down to earth. After he was thrown down to earth, he went after Mary, the mother of Jesus, one more time, but was unable to defeat her. He tempted Jesus in the wilderness. Then he went after the followers of Christ, whom he is still after. There is no biblical evidence for Satan still fighting a war in heaven against Michael and his angels. Satan and all of the angels that fell with him were thrown to earth 2,000 years ago. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. If you want to further grow your relationship with God and have a daily devotional sent directly to your phone or email, subscribe to our website, holdtohope.org, or join our Telegram channel, Hold to Hope, where you will also receive an encouraging verse, quote, and lyric of the day. If there's ever a video of ours taken down on YouTube that you want to see, it'll always be available on our website, Telegram channel, and Rumble, so do with that information as you would like. And until next time, God bless.